All right, welcome to the Ravit Show. We are here at Snowflake Summit, and I'm at the Immuta Lounge. First of all, Steve, who's the CTO, welcome to the Ravit Show.
Thanks, glad to be here.
It's such a pleasure to host you today. I'm kind of excited to talk a lot around data security, what's happening at Immuta, announcements, and much more. But just for our audience, would you like to quickly introduce yourself, tell us more about what you do at Immuta, and what's new and happening, things that are happening at Immuta?
Yeah, great. Hi, Steve Touw, I'm CTO, one of the co-founders at Immuta. Been here since the beginning. It's been a long journey, about almost 9 years now. I'm focused in various different places at the company. I'm in charge of the engineering team, although my VP of engineering does most of the hard work there. And I am also involved in sales, marketing, customer success, you name it. So happy to answer any questions around that too. And in terms of announcements, we've got some new GenAI security announcements that we talked about. I'm sure we'll get into. But it's really, think of it as an extension of what we've already been doing in Snowflake, and continuing to build on the innovations that Snowflake releases.
Okay, fantastic. As a co-founder, you wear many hats. I'm pretty sure about that. But also, since we are on this topic of GenAI, I know there are many vendors talking about GenAI. What's Immuta's angle to GenAI? How are you all, getting to a place where now customers can use AI with Immuta as well?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we actually wanted to take our time in getting ourselves into this market, because if you think about what Immuta is, we're really kind of a sidecar, if you will, that it orchestrates policies on database vendors or data platform vendors. So the challenge is that until you have clarity on how the data platforms are going to do GenAI and support GenAI, there wasn't really much for us to do at that point, and we didn't want to start creating our own thing on the side. So as our data partners started releasing features, especially RAG, which we can talk about a little bit, that gave us the opportunity to inject our access control capabilities into those data platforms. So we're jumping at it now because of this stuff just being released.
Okay, in terms of the customers, are they already using it? Would you like to share something about it?
So customers are using Immuta today for structured data access control.
Nice.
So we manage that at scale, which is critically important. So for example, Snowflake released something called Copilot, which allows mere mortals to run queries on data by just writing a plain old sentence in the prompt, which is quite different from having to be a SQL wizard and having to be able to run queries yourself and know how to understand SQL. So this opens the door to many, many, many more people being able to query potentially all your data. So it becomes even more critical to continue to manage access at scale to that structured data. So that's what we've been doing for a living since Immuta started.
Yes.
And we allow you to do that abstractly and at scale, and have meet your compliance obligations as well. And in fact, we were announced as for the second year in a row as the Snowflake Data Security Partner of the Year.
Congrats.
Yeah, thanks.
That's huge.
So which is great. So this is extending that capability into the more unstructured GenAI space, if you will.
Makes sense. Also, in terms of the customers, I know for a fact where Booking.com, I saw one of your customers. Yes. Would you like to share a little about that as well? How are they using the...
Yeah, so they're more using us just for object unstructured access. So we have something we call it our S3 integration. We work very closely with AWS on this.
Right.
So they aren't necessarily using that to build GenAI applications, but they are using it to access unstructured data, and we use that. They use our granular controls for that. So I believe their goal is to eventually take that capability and use it to control what is going into their GenAI applications as well. So if you think about it as 3 layers of defense, the first layer is how do you control the files that are even getting into the applications.
Right.
And then the second layer of defense is how do you then, when those applications ask questions, how do you filter the responses dynamically to make sure that you're hiding any additional information that person should or shouldn't see, like someone in HR should be able to see salaries, but not someone that's not in HR, right? And then finally, there's the prompt layer, which is like where you ask the questions and any kind of additional masking or filtering that needs to happen there. So I think a lot of people are really focused on the prompts here and not at those first two layers, which is where we're focused.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thanks for sharing those insights. Also, quickly wanting to learn a little about your views on AI for security, because that's something which is upcoming. People are talking about it. I know Immuta has a messaging around it as well. Kind of curious to know from you
Yeah.
what it looks like.
Yeah, so there's huge opportunity there. One of the benefits of our platform is that you're able to build policy almost in its plain English, but it has never been AI driven, so to
Right.
speak. So we believe there's opportunity to take that even a more abstract direction where you could actually issue goals that you want to accomplish,
Right.
and then that creates the policies for you. And we're at a good position to accomplish this because we already have that policy abstraction and a way to remove the complexity, if you will. So we think there's an opportunity for us to do that. There's also opportunity in terms of monitoring what's happening. So we also, we audit everything. We're able to say when sensitive queries are happening on data. We could add a layer of AI abstraction on there and start to understand where there's issues without having to have a human in the loop. So these are things we're thinking about directionally.
That's fantastic. Also, quickly wanting to know a little about what's happening at Snowflake. How's the show going for you guys? What's next that's coming up? Any secret sauce for our audience?
Yeah, so Snowflake's been going great. I actually got here late last night, so I haven't been able to hang out at the actual event too much yet. But we've got our own lounge here at the event that people can swing by, visit us, talk to us. We're standing in front of our nice branded wall here in the lounge.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, we really fancied it up for the show. And in terms of announcements, I think the GenAI one's a big one. How we integrate with Copilot and do those controls that I mentioned. Those are the big things that we're focused on. I think Snowflake in general has done a great job integrating their AI capabilities with what they already have in Snowflake. It was actually really easy for us to take what they've done with Cortex and RAG and integrate our access controls, because what they call Horizon, which is basically the way you do governance in Snowflake, just works natively with the AI capabilities that they've integrated with Snowflake. So this is great news for any partner, really, not just Immuta, because everything you've been used to with Snowflake continues to work really well. So I've been impressed with the way they've integrated their AI capabilities, very impressed.
Love it. Happy partners are always good to have in the game. And Steve, first of all, thanks for all the great insights. It was such a pleasure chatting with you on the Ravit Show.
Yeah, same.
Very quickly, one last question for you. If people want to reach out to you, learn more about Immuta, learn more about security, and much more, where can they do it? Is LinkedIn a good place for you?
Yeah, you can, LinkedIn, I'm a little slow to respond on LinkedIn, if I'm being honest.
I can expect
No,
that,
I've got a Twitter handle, Steve_Touw, Touw,
nice.
or email even, steve@immuta.com. But if you're here at the conference, I encourage you to come by our lounge here. We're right down the street. I forget
661, I guess.
661
Yes.
Howard, yeah.
Let's
So
do it.
you'll see the big sign on the window. Come on by, say hi to us. Someone will be here to talk to you. We'd love to chat more about Immuta and our security and how we integrate with GenAI. So.
Oh, for sure. No,
I
I met the team in Gartner at other conferences as well, and to be honest, I like what Immuta is doing, how
Thanks.
y'all have, how y'all are catering it to the customers as well, and that's why I love covering what you guys are doing. Always something new and trending that you guys come up with.
Yeah.
So thanks for doing that. But Steve, once again, thanks for visiting the Ravit
Yeah,
Show.
thanks, and thanks
Such
for
a
having
pleasure.
me. It's been great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.